Hello. It is January 2nd, 2019. My name's Tim Burden, and this video is on color. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to talk about color itself and why we see color, just briefly. Color shows up in the 400 trillion hertz to 770 trillion hertz range. And our eyes convert frequency vibration into the colors that we see. So 400 trillion to 770 trillion hertz. Now, so I just want to point out that doesn't mean there's no color here and there's no color here. It's just that our eyes only detect 400 trillion to 770 trillion hertz. It's just like sound. Our ears detect like 27 to right around here. The eyes detect here to here. So that's the first thing I want to point out. And then the next block of data here, what we have is we've got octaves. I'm starting off at the 432 frequency range. This is the sound range. And I will point out that the sound goes up to about here, and then it turns into radio, and then it goes up to about here, and it turns into microwaves, and then it goes up to about here, and it turns into infrared, and then I believe it goes up to about here. My personal belief, it goes up to here, and then it changes again. But the internet, most of the information on the internet says that it goes all the way to here and then it changes to color. So anyways, what this block of data, which is just octaves of the 432, just is saying that you take this and you times it by 2 and you get 864. You take this, you times it by 2, you get 1728. You do this 41 times and you get all the way up to this number here, which is the octave, which is the 41st octave of this number here, the 432 sound frequency. And it turns out to be around 475 trillion hertz, which is right in this range here. It's right here. So I'm just showing you the data that leads you from down in the sound that goes through the other frequency spectrum categories, and then you get all the way up to here and you've got a color. So then we go up to here, and what we have is we do the same thing with these tones. I've already, in my last couple of videos, I've been talking about these tones right here. These are what I'm calling right now, they're pure, perfect pitch, pure tones. And these tones all end up, if you go up 41 octaves, all of these perfect pitch tones become colors in this range right here. So now we only see 11 of these colors, 11, because our eyes only detect 770 trillion. This 11th color here, which is violet, is 752 trillion, but the 12th color, the F sharp, is 791 trillion, which lies just outside of our range to detect it. So, well, I'll get back to that in a minute, in the next clip. But so there's how we come up. I've come up with 12 colors. So there's 12 colors right there. And before we go on to the actual colors, I'm just going to go over the increments in between the actual frequencies themselves. So in other videos, I've shown that there's exactly 24 hertz in between these tones right here. And so what you've got is you've got 38 plus 24 equals 408. 408 plus 32 equals 408 plus 24 equals 432. On, and it does that for 6 6 of these notes, and it does the same thing for 6 of these colors. Then it changes, and it goes to 36 hertz for the next 6. And it's the same with this right here. I'll get to that in a minute, but I just want to show that 24 plus 12 equals 36. I'm going to get back to these 3 numbers in the next clip, but I just want to show how the tones work, and then the colors work the exact same way. In between these 2 colors is exactly 26, roughly 26 trillion hertz. This number is exact in between each of these colors. So, and then it's the same thing with here. And so you go from 24 all the way to 26 trillion, and you go from 36 all the way up to 39 trillion, almost 40 trillion. But it's an exact number. It doesn't vary like in between the tones. It's 6 and 6. Okay, and then this number plus this number equals this number. And so the next clip's going to be the 369 code. Okay, so we bring the 369 code in, and before I get to the 369 code, I've got just one other pattern that I want to show you guys. And this, I've been doing this for a couple of months now, and when you're looking at all this data, all these numbers and stuff like that, you see patterns, and the 369 code is a perfect example of patterns. Now, there's another pattern here I just want to show you before I get into this. When you're looking at these digits, you've got 4 digits, you've got 5 digits, 6 digits, 7 digits, so on and so forth. But if you group them, you go 3 4-digit numbers, you go 3 5-digit numbers, and then you go 4 6-digit numbers. And then this pattern keeps repeating. So 3 7-digit, 3 8-digit, 4 9-digit numbers. 3 3 4, 3 3 4. It's just data. I don't know, like I can't say, I can't say to you, well, this is what it means. I'm just, obviously the numbers get larger. I'm just saying there's a pattern there. And there's probably somebody out there that can say, well, this is what it means. It has a larger meaning than what I can provide. So that's just this pattern. Now we look at the 369 code. 369 code is simply 4 plus 3 plus 2 equals 9. 8 plus 6 equals 14 plus 4 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9. 1 plus 7 equals 8. Plus 2 equals 10. Plus 8 equals 18. 8 plus 1 equals 9. On and on. Every one of these numbers and beyond and below, when it's an octave of 432, is a 9. So we go up to these numbers here. Now, this is where it starts showing a pattern. When you're looking at octaves and the tones, these are the perfect pitch pure tones. You see this pattern: 639, 639, 999, 999, and that's how it's grouped. You can group these into 3s, and that will show up when we go over the colors. But the cool thing about the 369 code is that when you get up to these numbers also reduce to 639, 639, 999, 999. And that's the cool thing about this 369 code, is that it verifies your data. It's just showing you that this chunk of frequency, when you go up 41 octaves, this chunk of frequency shows the same 639 code. It's just like a verification code. There's a lot more to it, but it's showing. I'm showing you right now, and you can do the math for yourself, that these numbers all add up to 639, 639, 999. So it's just a verification code right for this purpose right here. Now, when we get to the increment numbers, the cool thing here, and this is what I wanted to show you, was you got your 639, 639, 639, 639 code, but then the increments themselves also show not only a 639 pattern with these 3 numbers: 2 plus 4 equals 6, 1 plus 2 equals 3, 3 plus 6 equals 9. So these not only show this pattern, but it also syncs up with this right here, the 639. Now, when you go up to the next octave from here, you go up 12 notes, and then the next 12 notes will show a 369 pattern, 369, 999, 999. And the increment numbers will also reflect that the 369. So the next 12 notes in the scale will be 369 for the increments. Now we get up to here, it's the same exact thing. This number reduces to 6, this number reduces to 3, this number reduces to 9. So, you know, it's data, but it's incredible synchronicity data. It's designed. There's no other way to say it. Okay, so what we have to do now is we have to take these frequencies and match them to colors. Okay, so we've gone from these tones up 41 octaves, and now we have color. But before we get into this stuff here, I just want to explain what you're looking at here. So when you take white light and you put it through a prism, which is like a triangular piece of glass, piece of plastic, I don't know, I'm not into that stuff, but when you take white light and when you put it through a prism, it separates these 7 colors. So forget the white for now, but these 7 colors come out of a prism. And so that's what you're looking at when you're looking at a prism or a rainbow. You're looking at white light. They call it refracted. So you're looking at white light that's showing these primary colors. Okay, and there's the 7 colors, but there's actually 8. And that's what this data is showing right here, is that there's an 8th color. It's actually 12, but I'm going to show that in a minute. Like these individual 3s are all different colors. They're not just pointing to red and blue. But before I get into that, I just want to talk about these colors here. So, and I'll go over the white. Don't worry, I'm going to go over the white, and this is actually color. It's not white, but we see it as white because we can't detect the color because it's outside of our detection range. So anyways, these colors here, the first thing I want to say is that on a computer operating system like I'm using, or on, I'd say all computers and all TVs, they use a red, green, blue determination to find the colors, to show the colors. And what I'm trying to say is that these 2 colors, indigo and violet, are not represented properly if you're just using red, green, blue. This sort of looks like violet and this sort of looks like indigo, but I don't believe it's accurate. And the reason I don't believe it's accurate is because I believe that you go red plus yellow equals orange, orange plus green equals yellow, so on and so forth. So when you get up to here, green and violet equals blue. Well, if you're using red, green, and blue to define blue and not the actual color of indigo, then I don't see how it's possible to come up with a proper color of blue. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about that. The next thing I want to talk about is this color here. So we've got our 7 primary colors. Okay, but it's actually 8 or 12 depending on how you look at it. So this 8th color, or this 12th color here, that's 12 F sharp 720, shows up as white, but it's not white. You just don't, your eyes can't detect it. Your eyes go to about here, and your eyes see this color out in nature, as violet or pink. But right here, your eye detection cuts off. So like there's color in here, depends on what you can detect. And there's color here, but your eyes can't detect it because it just has a shutoff point, and it's only allowing you to see this spectrum right here. So this is an actual color, and it's not white, but it shows up as white because you can't. It shows up as white because white is the base color, and that's all I can say. So another way to look at it is if you could only if your range of detection of color vibration only went to here, this would show up as white. So when you went out to nature and you saw a violet flower, it would show as white. Okay, so that brings us to this color and white. What is mostly white on the planet right now? Okay, so I'm like, I already know what this color looks like. I already know what the main things on the planet that are white look like. So I'm just going to help out here. Snow and clouds are the two main things that are white, that our eyes can't properly translate the vibration that's coming in through the eyes. So when you see clouds and when you see snow, it is actually this color, and I'm going to tell you right now that it's a bluish violet. It's got all kinds of weird things in it. I'm not going to get into how I know it, but what I will say is that before the end of this clip, I'll give you guys a task where you can use your own imagination on what this color is. So again, this is snow and clouds. Okay, but what I'm saying is that I think in the future, when consciousness goes up on this planet, that this color will be detectable by humans. And I've heard one other person talking about this. His name's Andrew Bartzis. He calls himself the Galactic Historian. The guy's amazing, if you ask me. But anyways, this color will become detectable once your eyes can detect it. It's as simple as that. I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't really care. All I'm saying is that you've got these 7 colors, and then you've got snow and cloud. So it makes sense that if your eyes open up and start detecting a larger range of frequency, then this color is going to come in, and it's like a bluish violet. I think it's a bluish violet, like purplish color myself, but I think we'll find out in time. So, okay, so sticking with, that's all I'm going to talk about with this stuff. I'm just going to show you one thing. So we've got, in the 369 code, the 369 code shows that this is grouped in threes. So the 369 code shows that these are all grouped in threes. And that perfectly reflects at what this is showing here. So this is showing that there's 3 colors pointing at the red spectrum. Then there's 3 more colors pointing at individual colors, orange, yellow, green. Then there's 3 colors pointing at the blue spectrum, the blue color spectrum. And then there's 3 individual colors pointing at the indigo, violet, and the new color. So that's a pattern, and patterns are very important when you're showing this kind of data, because it just all adds up. It makes sense. Now, I want to talk about the blue and the red. Why is there 3 separate frequencies all grouped into one color? Well, I've been studying this for like literally 2 months, and all I can say is that these 2 colors are very rich. They're very dark and rich. They're compacted with a lot of frequency information. And then when you look at these colors, they're all kind of lighter, not so rich, not so dark. I'm not saying they're not standalone colors. I'm saying that these are beautiful colors, but the red and the and the blue are very dark and rich. Okay? So when you look at it like that, then you can see how three frequencies in the blue, and the red can be in one frequency. Now, so that leads me to, why are they all sort of showing that they're all just one color, and why would there be three colors in one, and then single, 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 and then three colors in one, and single, single? Why aren't they showing on the spectrum or in the rainbow? Why aren't they showing as, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3? I can't explain that. I have no urge to figure out why the properties of light. But I believe that the properties of light allow three frequencies to be bunched into one color. That's what my current explanation for what you're looking at here is. And I'm sure there's a lot of people there's people out there that know the answer to this, but when they watch this video, they're going to go, oh, I know why. And so then they could share why that is. All I'm saying is, I know this data right here is flawless. This data is flawless. This is an actual representation of a spectrum or a rainbow. So this data itself is flawless. So again, I just think it's saying that light has different properties that allow this much frequency to be jammed into red and make it look like it's just one color when it's actually three, and then you have three separate colors that are all the same size or the same width as the one color. Now, there's another pattern here, and I want to show this pattern. This pattern, it's like there's a dark, light, 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 dark, light, light, light. So this color, when we see it, won't be, I don't think it's going to be light. It's like a bluish purpley. So, but it's going to be light compared to blue and red. Like this red compared to these three is a dark, rich color. This blue compared to these three is going to be a dark, it's a dark, rich color. So I think that covers it for this. Oh, one more thing. And, this is total speculation. This is just me rambling on. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Tolkien, and I'm going to talk about Walter Disney. Okay, in 1937, Tolkien releases The Hobbit. Okay, in The Hobbit, there's 13 dwarfs. 13 dwarfs in The Hobbit. And Sauron, in The Hobbit, the book, he talks about Saruman the White. Okay, so now, just bear with me here. Saruman the White, Gandalf, in Lord of the Rings, Gandalf turns into Gandalf the White. Okay, so Gandalf the White and Saruman the White, I believe Tolkien is saying that it is, somehow throwing that out there. And the dwarves, Tolkien in The Hobbit, he's got 13 dwarves. So all I'm going to say about that is that Tolkien he's saying there's 13. I'm saying the data shows there's 12 colors. But Tolkien was saying 13. Now, if to get this color, you need another color here. You got to go violet plus this color to get this color. So all I'm saying is that maybe that's what Tolkien was saying. He's saying there's 13 colors because this one needs that. That's the only explanation I can come up with. Now, Walter Disney. Walter, in 1950, remember, Tolkien releases The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, 37, and I don't know when Lord of the Rings was. 37 was when he released The Hobbit. Walter releases the film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Okay? So that's what I think Walt's getting at there. Seven Dwarfs, Snow White. Now, here's the task I want you guys to check out. Go look at some pics of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Okay, and you'll notice the dwarfs all reflect, their outfits all reflect these colors. And then Snow White, what she is wearing, I believe, reflects this color. And what you have to do is use your imagination and just combine all the colors that Snow White has on without her cape. She wears this cape with a lot of red on the inside of it. Don't look at a picture with her without the cape on. And then combine all those colors, and I believe you can get pretty close to what this color actually looks like. Okay, so now all I've done in this clip here is I've put in these lines separating, showing that there's 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and 3. Okay, so I'm just showing the 369 code shows that these are grouped in threes all the way to 12. So now I'm just showing the separation. The colors do not properly reflect. In my next clip, I'll show a better reflection of the colors themselves. But for this clip, all I'm showing is how the 12 colors would look. 3, 6, 9, 12. And remember, this is an actual color. It's like a bluish purple, orangish. I initially, when I first figured this color out, it was like a bluish, purplish, orangish, rusty, bronzy. That was my initial categorization of this color. But if you look at a picture of Snow White, just use your imagination, combine all the colors on her outfit, and you'll get that. So again, this clip is solely just to show you 12 colors. Okay, you can look at it as 8, you can look at it as 12, but the data right here clearly shows it's 12. You can say whatever you want, but the data shows 12 colors. Okay, so on the final clip here, all I'm showing is the 12 tones up 41 octaves to their frequencies, and then the frequencies point to these colors. Again, these colors are made up of a red, green, blue combination, and so I don't think I don't think any of these colors are accurate. I'm just showing that indigo and violet, it's not a bad representation of it, but I don't think it's accurate. And obviously, I'm not going to attempt to put in this color here because that's not my thing. So, I'm leaving it as white. Just remember, snow and cloud and a few other things that you can think of that are white will, in the future, I believe, show a bluish, purplish color. So all I wanted to do here is show that dark red, and light red this represents the 3 reds. Oh, and that's another thing I forgot. In Lord of the Rings, or The Hobbit, Bilbo asked Gandalf about the other wizards, and Gandalf, the first thing he says is, well, we've got the 2 blueses, or no, I think he talks about Saruman the White first, and then he talks about the 2 blueses, and Gandalf's a gray in The Hobbit, so I think he's right here, but I'm not sure. But he talks about the 2 blueses. So again, Tolkien's just, there's more than one blue, or whatever. And then he talks about Radagast, the brown, but I believe Radagast actually represents green. And I'm going to do a whole video on the elements, because the 4 elements, fire, earth, air, and water, are completely represented right here. So fire is when you look at a fire, you can see dark red, red, light red, orange, and yellow. And when you look out in nature, which Earth, this would be Earth, everything's green. The air is represented by the sky. And the sky is completely represented by light blue, blue, dark blue. Just recently, ironically, I've seen 3 or 4 pics of indigo purple skies. And I've also found some violet sky pics. So air is represented here, these 5 colors. And then water, snow, cloud is represented by this color here. Now, if you're looking at a deep ocean, you're seeing this bluish, some oceans you see turquoise, stuff like that. There's blue, it looks blue, but I don't think it's blue. I think it's this color. So you got water, air, earth, fire. But that's for another video. So getting back to this one, we've got the frequencies are showing 3 reds, 3 blues, then orange, yellow, and green, and indigo, violet, and this color here. And I think that covers it. Thank you very much.